Well, first name is Alan. My last name's Traub. Overtime is the business name. Overtime Ventures. It's a pub eating establishment, and we have halftime. Well, Overtime is a licensed bar, so is halftime is a family restaurant. So in overtime, we're not allowed to have the kids in here because of the VLTs and stuff like that, and it just gives people a place to go away from their children. If you don't want to listen to screaming kids, if you do want to listen to screaming kids, you got to go to halftime. It was just in my head always, and then originally we were going to have a motel as well, so it was going to be bedtime, halftime, and overtime. I started my construction company back when I was 20 years old, is when I started that limited company. So that company has been in business for 30 years. And then I have other businesses too. I used to own Gramla Construction back in Concert, and that's how Mr. Carpenter came up. And so limited that company, and then we started Overtime. I kind of got thrown into this business. I had no clue about this business. It was a partnership. There was a three-way partnership, and then it worked out that one of my partners, the guy who got me involved in this, decided he was going to go do another venture shortly after we pursued this. And and so he finally got his other adventure, and it's going in town here as well right now. So, and then I got stuck running this place. No, originally me and my wife came from Manitoba. Back when I was 18 years old, which is a few years ago, and only a couple actually. But yeah, we came to Concert actually. I lived in Concert for 12 years, and that's when I got involved with Gramla Construction. My brother-in-law still lives in Concert, and I came out to be a foreman for him when I was 18 and ran his company for 2 years. And then after that, I went on my own and then hooked up with Pat Gramlich. And we own Gramla Construction together, and we still do ventures together, including this place and stuff. And I'm always looking for opportunities. I mean, this is how it is. It's a rural entrepreneur. I think an entrepreneur, doesn't matter if you're rural or not. Anybody that wants to do and own their own business, it's a fairy tale story if you think you can work 4 hours a day. If your employees are working 9s, that means you're working 15s, It's big dedication. You gotta have a very understanding family, life, and stuff. And, I have 2 children. Both of my kids are growing now. One's 29, one's 30. But, I mean, they got neglected because I was working so much. But in today's society, if you're not working, 12, 14 hours a day, you're not going to go anywhere in life. I mean, anybody that tells you that they can work an 8-hour job, and it's not going to happen. There's just no way. That's what I found anyway. We seen a need in the community. My partner back then was Doug, and he approached me and Pat because he knew of my building skills and interior designing skills. And me and Doug did a lot of, I built Doug's liquor store back, me and Pat did. So I've been friends with Doug for a lot of years, since I moved to this area. And so he approached me, said, would I be interested? We always said we were going to do something together. We always said this community needed a proper establishment for eating and drinking and stuff like that. And we just seen the need for it. And so that's where it went. And we got the building. A person from Calgary owned the building, and so she was sitting on it for a very long time, so we made her an offer on the building, and she accepted it, and here we are today. Well, it's just like anything. It's just a learning curve. I mean, we hired a manager in the beginning that has been in the industry, pretty much his whole life. And he stayed with us for, I think, 8 months and got us up and running, taught us the ins and outs of it and stuff like that. And then we've just been tweaking it ever since. And just listen to your employees. If you've got good employees, life's easy. The business will run itself with your employees. All my employees have been here since day one, since we opened the doors. And we come to work, we have a good time. People come in the door here, they're here for a good time. That's the kind of business it is. It's not like you're going to the dentist and you're going to be in pain. You know, so, and yeah, just interact with the people and, you know, treat them like you'd want to be treated when you walk into a restaurant in the city. And that's pretty much it. That's how it works. In the beginning it was staff, and now we got all that ironed out. Just the extra cost that people don't have a clue about in the business. I mean, because you have to have so many dollars coming through the door in order to keep a business open. So there's always that part of it. I didn't realize the extra costs involved just because you're a bar and stuff, like your TV, you know, they charge extra for all that because you're a bar, things like that. All the hidden costs involved in a business like this that I didn't realize. So I know now. But I'm always like that. I start something and then I find out after. I mean, you have to. You can't just give up. You have too much invested. You know, so it's like anything. I mean, you have your ups and downs, your slow times, your busy times. So yeah, as long as we have local support, this place will always be here. You know, and as long as we keep providing good service and good food, there should be no reason why it shouldn't be here. And the town needs it. It brings a lot of people in. We have a lot of customers coming from Kindersley now and Concert. So it's having this place being successful. That means other businesses in town are, you know, generating profits from it too, because people are coming in town and they're spending money in town. And that's what these small towns need to survive, because we're competing against the cities. You know, so that's the biggest thing, because we're a little too close to the city. I wish we were 2 hours away from the city. Yeah, people will run to the city and then, you know, they might need one thing and then they'll stop and get everything, so our grocery stores lose. And it's so important in these towns. I don't think people realize enough in these towns that you have to support your locals, because that we're the ones who are supporting your, you know, your hockey teams, your baseball teams. It's one thing coming in and asking a business for sponsorship, but if that business can't afford it, you know, so the money stays in your town, in your community, when you spend in your community. If you spend money in the hat, that money's gone forever. It's never coming back. So that's something I think everybody needs to understand. If businesses can't succeed here because out-of-town businesses are coming in, I'm talking all businesses, I'm not just talking this kind of industry, I'm talking construction, I'm talking electricians, everything. If you can support your local people, that money, that $1 is going to travel in this town probably 10 times before it ever leaves this town, right? And I think people just need to understand that. Because they have grandchildren that are going to need jobs, you know. They have children that need jobs. The school kids need jobs. So if we don't have businesses to, you know, we employ probably 13 people here. One business, you know, employing 13 people. Those 13 jobs were never here in this town before. So that brings people in. We've moved people to this town, you know, so that helps, because that's 2 more houses or whatever that, you know, is being rented, you know, which is generating money again for that person that's renting the house. So I would say the customers, just seeing them leave happy, and the comments that they, you know, put down. The staff, I love the staff, working with the staff. We got great staff, so that's probably the most satisfying. Just having happy customers. I didn't want to work for people all my life. That's basically it. I wasn't a school person. So my father was a carpenter. Seen him be successful in life. He had very little education and did very well for himself through life. And yeah, and I knew what I was going to do in life. I didn't want to pursue schooling and secondary and all that stuff. So I quit school at an early age. Don't do that at home, kids. Do not quit. But back then, you know, that many years ago, it was a little different. Education wasn't as important, as long as you had a good drive, good work ethics. I mean, and basically, education to me is the same thing. If you're a lazy person, education ain't gonna do you any good in life. If you're a go-getter, you can accomplish anything in life, with or without education. So, from the age of 12, I was building houses with my father. And my father was the type of person that you weren't allowed to sit on the couch and watch TV while he was out working on a Saturday. You had to put your time in, which is understandable. There was 7 kids in my family, and you know, so everybody worked. And it's probably the best lesson in life that he taught me, is that you have to work for everything. Nothing was ever given to me. I had to pay, like if my first car, I had to pay half of that car first before he would help me, you know. And that's pretty much all he gave me in life, is that first car. He paid half of it, a used car. And then after that, it was just, yeah. I mean, he didn't believe in him raking the lawn and me not out there with him, or one of the, you know, he taught us all how to work. And all my family, out of the 7 kids, they've all been successful. They all have their own businesses, and I'm the youngest of 7, by the way. So, and my mom is still alive, and she lives in my backyard. I moved her in my backyard like 5, 6 years ago into Acadia Valley, and we take care of her. Me and my wife take care of her. But she's still 87. She'll be this year, and still going strong, and still working as hard as she did the day she had me. Yeah, it's crazy. I've missed out on a lot of things, as my kids will tell you, as they were growing up, because was on the road and done different things like that. But as far as, you know, family life, my wife works probably, if not harder than me. Like, she's always working. I'm always working. Our kids are obviously gone now, but now we have grandchildren, and so we do take the time for them now, the grandchildren and stuff. It's a necessity. I enjoy that, because I didn't have that with my children, because I was always working to try to provide. And so now I think it sinks in more watching the little guys grow up and stuff. So, and it's great. I mean, if I can have my grandchildren work beside me, you know, like my dad did. My son worked with me, I mean, since he was 12, and he only left a month ago. And he's a carpenter as well. But he has a girlfriend now, and so he moved on and moved to Medicine Hat and starting his career and his life together with her. So, but yeah, I mean, I love working around my family and friends, and you can't do that if you're not an entrepreneur. You can't do that. I mean, unless you get, you know, work for a company that hire the same, but it's not the same. So, yeah. So the time I lost with my son, basically, you know, as a child when he was little, I made up for it, because he worked side by side with me every day for the last 20 years, basically. So I would do a little more research than what I did do. Like I said, the hidden costs. I didn't know there was a second standard, you know, for stupid things like TVs and stuff. I mean, for TV channels, like what you pay at home for all your TV channels, we get charged that for one TV channel, just because we're a bar. And you know, music, we pay for music. I mean, it's free music, but I didn't know that, you know, you have to pay a royalty because you're a business, even for background music. You know, all these little things, they all add up. So, yep. And yeah, so I would just research it a little better and stuff. But other than that, I'm never sorry that I've done this. I mean, I enjoyed doing the building itself. So, yeah. Surround yourself with great people. You can never have enough knowledge. So listen to the older people that's done it and been there. Learn from their mistakes instead of making your own mistakes. Yeah, and staff. I mean, every entrepreneur, I mean, every business has to have staff. And without your staff, you have nothing. Like, I could have built all this, and just because you build a nice building, or, you know, it doesn't mean people are going to come. You get one chance to, you know, make an impression on a person, and I think that's probably, a lot of people don't understand that part of it. The younger generation doesn't understand. And like, to be an entrepreneur, like, you have a lot of kids have attitudes. I had one when I was young and stuff, but I think it's more so that you have to understand that what you do today is going to hurt you tomorrow, and you could be a business person, you know, 5 years from now. You don't know where you're going to be 5 years from now, so don't burn any bridges. You know, I've been in the community for 35 years out here, 30 years or whatever, and, you know, I have friends all over the place out here, and I think I treated everybody fair over the years, and that's, you know, why you're successful, is just treat everybody like you want to be treated, and you'll be successful. It doesn't matter what you do. Just be ready to work a lot of hours being an entrepreneur. Like I said, it's not a 9 to 5 job by any means. And just Same scenario. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do, you have to treat people the way you want to be treated. You have to have a level head about yourself. Because one bad customer, especially in these small towns, if you're an entrepreneur, and I don't care what you're doing, everybody has families. Everybody's connected in some way in these small towns. So if you make an enemy, that means you probably made 20 people mad, not just one. And to be an entrepreneur, you want everybody to whatever you do as an entrepreneur, you have to have successful people around you and good customers. Well, there's special areas of lower taxes and I don't know, truthfully. I mean, we have no business if there's no customers, so I have to have people coming through the door. If the locals don't support us, because we can't rely on out of town people and crews and stuff. If the locals don't support us, they're not going to have a bar in the town. I mean, it's bottom line. I mean, everything's a gamble. Every business I've ever done has been a gamble, and yeah. So I mean, it goes back to what I said before about if people don't support their towns, you won't have a town. So. I mean, not really. I mean, as long as we're enjoying it, we'll keep doing it. As far as a business plan, just have it succeed. I mean, that's bottom line. There's been a lot of people around here that have never walked into the business. I don't think people know what we offer as far as our menu selection. I don't think there is any other business around here that you can get a ribeye and seafood. I mean, everybody's just used to the old traditional bar food, and we're not bar food. A lot of people compare us to the Keg as far as our steaks and stuff like that. So, and we run features every day. A lot of people don't follow us on Facebook. And we run something different on our menu at lunchtime and at supper time every day. And a lot of people don't know that because they don't follow, your local businesses on Facebook because they just don't. So, yeah.